This is Robert Clinkybeard and David Anderson with the Commercial Landscapers Podcast. We're going to take 20 minutes of your life to deliver some amazing business content from accomplished leaders to bring you value, scale your business, and better yourself personally. We hope you really enjoy the show, and I encourage you to share with your network so they can subscribe and we can expand these messages globally. We are also super excited to be supported by two brilliant sponsors. If you're tired of measuring properties, Site Recon platform fully automates measurements so you can focus on sales. So think measurements, think Site Recon. The other sponsor is Company Cam, who make it dead simple to communicate, document, and problem solve with guys in the field, no matter where you are. Company Cam brings documentation, communication, and liability protection together in one simple, easy to use app for you and your entire team. Company Cam is the only app every landscaper needs. Check it out. Hi, this is Robert Clinkybeard with the Commercial Landscapers Podcast. I'm super excited to be joined today by Justin White. Justin is the CEO of K&D Landscaping, and he's also an award-winning entrepreneur. I need to dig in more about that title. So, Justin, welcome today.
Thanks, Robert. Thanks for having me today. I'm very excited to have a conversation with you and our listeners.
Yeah, no, it was good to meet you a few weeks ago, and I'm really stoked that you could be on today. So, tell me a little bit about your background, just so that the listeners can to understand where you're coming from.
Perfect. Yeah. So, second generation business owner here at K&D Landscaping. I think my story is similar to a lot of second generation business owners, where I grew up in the business. My parents started the company right around when I was born. So I, grew up on the job site, and after high school, I decided that the business was where I wanted to take my life. So instead of going off to college, I decided to get involved right away. And it was a passion right at the beginning. Started off operating equipment, and my favorite thing was running the excavator. So I got pretty good at that. But pretty soon I was in the office estimating projects and starting to become more of a project manager. Then the crash happened, 08, 09 really took a toll on our business, and we really had to get hungry, get smart, and get focused. And that's really when we actually started focusing more on commercial installation and commercial maintenance. The maintenance really helped bring us through that. Learned a lot of lessons going through that process. As we kind of rebounded out of that recession in 2012 and 2013, the business started to grow. We started to pick up momentum. We were about $1 million, $1.5 million during that point. Shortly thereafter, in 2015, my parents decided they were going to go their separate ways, and they got a divorce, which kind of rocked the boat a bit, as you can imagine, with a small mom and pop's operation. But it also gave me the opportunity to take the leadership role and become the CEO of K&D. So in 2015, I took that leadership role, and we were about $1.5 million, maybe pushing $2 million. And that's when we really started to instill the core values you see behind me: professionalism, humility, respect, teamwork, hunger, and safety. The core values really have driven the focus. They've driven our hiring, our decision-making process, and they've driven our growth over the last 5 years. Here we are, 2021, and we're going to probably do about between 11 and 12 million in revenue today, which is fantastic. We've got a great team around us. So that growth, that scale going from 2 million to 10 million was quite a ride. So here we are, COVID has rocked the boat again, and it's given us a chance to kind of reset our focus, reset our targets. And we're aligning the entire team around what we're calling our big, hairy, audacious goal. If you guys know Vern Harnish, Scale Up, or EOS, that term BHAG. So our goal is to be a 300 employee company by 2030. We call it our 300 by 30 target. We're currently about 100 employees, like I said, doing about 10 million. So that'll put us about 30 million in revenue. But what's exciting is we're all aligned around a common goal. We're focused. We're driving towards that every day. And that's kind of where I started and where I'm at, and also where I'm going.
Oh, I love that. I love the passion. I love the journey. I mean, I especially love the core values, and the fact that you've got that in the wall. It's just a reminder to your employees. You probably have that other places around your office, but core values are great. And as I say, I love them, but you obviously must have done something. So to go from $1.5 million, 2 million up to 10+ million, I mean, there must have been again, some type of a shift, or maybe you've really identified a gap in the market. And there must be something you and your company have done to take you up that growth rate.
Absolutely. And I do feel like it is a combination of factors. The most important being, I'll tie it to hunger, which is being hungry for the growth and being disciplined around what you do to get to that growth path. So one of the big things we did was hiring a business coach. Jonathan Goldhill is his name. We hired him in 2015, and he coached me one-on-one every week for about an hour and a half. We developed our 3-year target, our 15-year target, and we started just putting budgets together around growth. And I think when you can set the target for every year, and you have your 3-year plan, let's just say that you have your 3-year plan, and then you break that down into your 1-year plan, then you break that down into your quarterly plan. You just take it every 90 days, and every 90 days you execute on your rocks, you execute on your goals. You're checking KPIs on a weekly basis to make sure you're on track with that quarterly goal. And you accomplish that quarterly goal, and then you go on to the next and the next and the next. So, it's really 5 years broken down into a bunch of quarterly targets that we've been disciplined and also lucky to hit those, because I do feel the economy over the last 5 to 6 years has allowed us to take advantage of a growth opportunity where there's a lot of work opportunity. There's some great employees and some great talent coming into our industry. As much as you hear about hiring and recruitment being a challenge, I do feel that we've been lucky to find some amazing people. And, to get to 1 million takes one person with a bunch of helpers, but to get to 10 million, you have to have a bunch of leaders. And that really was the differentiation factor, I think, for us at the end of the day, was we got the right people on board. We put them in the right place, and they did the right things. And that's what really led us to today is ultimately the people.
No, so I agree 100% with all the things you've said so far. And it's all very well creating this great strategy and putting in these 1, 3, 5, 15-year plans, but you're 100% right that execution is where it matters. And you have to have the right people. Now, tell us about some of the ways in which you found some great people to execute on that plan. I mean, just putting a posting on Indeed or whatever works to some degree, but you've obviously gone through to develop some type of process to bring us some great people. Talk through that.
Absolutely. I think first off, every business, whether you're looking to grow or you're looking to maintain, you should be spending anywhere from 1 to 2% of your revenue on marketing. Now, and a lot of people in this economy, they're overflowed with work. They have too much work. They can't take it on. So they shut their marketing department down, and they stop funding that side of their business. And our methodology was, we've got that 2% put away for marketing. Let's continue our marketing engine. Let's just shift the focus from clients to employees, because the work's coming in. We just don't have enough employees to handle it. So what we've done is we've taken our really well-established marketing team, who's been fantastic and has been a big part of our growth. We've shifted their focus towards employees. So social media, we do a lot of press releases. We do a lot of community beautification projects. We've been featured in a lot of articles nationally and locally. And a lot of that has to do with our marketing, attention to marketing. And most of those articles, most of those press releases are talking to future employees. So when you put the context of a story together, you can either put it in a way where you're looking for more work, or you can put it in a way where you're talking to future employees. I think that's been a big difference for us, is the branding and the continued narrative to our community is all about how great of a place this is to work and how great of a place we want to make it to work. And that has led us to get a lot of attention when we do post an ad, whether it's on Indeed, LinkedIn, Craigslist, or one of the other thousands of job boards out there. You've got to have a story to back up that job ad. So we try to do a lot of proactive storytelling. So when we are ready to hire and we do post that job ad, people are excited to apply, and we can benefit from that proactive marketing once they get into the interview room.
Yeah, I love that. And you're entirely right. I think a lot of people are not spending enough money on marketing, or maybe they're marketing in the wrong places. But I go into many companies and help coach them, and a lot of people make a lot of great efforts on bringing employees on, and they complain about trying to get employees, and we all know the marketplace these days. But then once they get them into the company, then they almost like, okay, they just give up. We brought them through the doors. They pretty much, pass them off to the office manager and said, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Talk through your onboarding process, because I'm a firm believer that first 90 days is critical.
Yeah.
To whether an employee is going to stay with you for a year or maybe 10 years. So talk through your onboarding.
Yeah, we've identified that as a critical part in an employee's life cycle. We talk all about a destination company here. So we're looking for employees who want to make a career and retire at K&D. It's one of the reasons we have such a robust 401k program. So going back to, let's start in the interview process. First, you need a robust interview process, because if you're just hiring someone that can fog a mirror, they are coming into a company feeling like, well, I just got picked out of a hat. However, if you put them through, like what we do is we call a 3x3, 3 different interviews with 3 different people. We also use predictive index as an assessment behavioral tool. So by the time we give them a job offer, they've gone through the gauntlet and they feel like they beat out a number of people. And in most cases, they have beat out 10 to 20 people for that one position. So they feel conquered, they feel rewarded already by starting. Then the onboard process. We have a wonderful HR manager that takes them through our core values, explains the story and history of K&D. We have a really rich history of community beautification and activism within our community. A lot of people can really tie to that. We have stories of my father's first employee, Juan Sotelo, who today is our maintenance operations manager. We tell Juan's story. We tell stories about Francisco Sotelo, who is one of our residential supervisors, who had started from the very bottom of the company at entry level 20, 30 years ago and are now leaders in the company today. So through storytelling, again, we get them excited about the potential of becoming a higher level employee at K&D and making a really great income, because financial compensation is definitely part of that. So we really talk about tying hard work to future financial compensation. So through this onboarding process, they really get a good feel of what the company's about. They get a feel of the culture, and it typically can take 3 to 4 hours for Fernando, our HR manager, to take them through this onboarding process. We have a short video they watch, and then we get them into the field with a buddy. We want them to feel comfortable and a part of the team on day one. So we give them a uniform, we give them K&D gear. So when they show up, they're showing up as part of a team. And we've trained a lot of our long-term employees to welcome the new employees as family. And I think new employees can feel like outsiders for the first 90 days. But on day one, our goal is to make them feel like they're part of the team, they're benefiting the company, and they're participating in what we're trying to do beyond just install and maintain beautiful landscapes. We're really trying to raise the bar in the landscape industry. So we tie our purpose into that, which is raise the bar. And we try to make them feel like they're a part of that purpose. We have a lot of stuff we do throughout the first 90 days. We have a one-to-one meeting every week. We call it the 10 by 15. We got it from the Harvester group, who's another consulting group. It's a quick 15-minute conversation with their supervisor. How's your morale? What's your attitude today? What things have you seen in the organization that can be improved? Any other feedback for me? So we're constantly gathering and asking for feedback throughout that 90-day process. And then religiously, we have a review on their 90-day. We really are really adamant about that 90-day review happening on day 90, not day 95 or day 100, but on day 90, we want to have that interview with them, or should I say that review with them, to let them know how they're doing and to get feedback on how they feel they're progressing during this first, what we call the probationary period. And once they make it through that 90 days, they automatically get a $1 to $2 raise, depending on what level they came in at. They get a new vest. So they go from the orange vest to the green vest, and they're officially an employee at K&D that is not in their probation period. So that 90 days is a gauntlet. And, I'll be honest, we lose about 50% of our people. And this is a much higher percentage than it was a few years ago. We lose about 50% of our people in the first 90 days because we really want to make sure that they're going to be long-term successful employees. Once you get past the 90 days, our retention rate goes way up. But during that 90 days, it's a chance for us to identify who they are and if they're going to be a long-term fit. And for them, if this company is right for them. And a lot of times it's a mutual decision to part ways just based on our core value alignment. So there's a lot
That's
there.
great. It almost reminds me of that. No, it's always reminds me of the whole Zappos story where, they really tried to almost force that employee out, and, they can either take that money or they could leave. Now that moves into, we've obviously been going through a pretty challenging time over the last 18 months with COVID. There was a lot of firefighting, for finding our feet early part of 2020. But now it's shifted into an employee market where, employees are asking for more money, really tough trying to find employees. How have you shifted your whole strategy within your company around employees?
Yeah. Well, I think first we gotta accept the fact that the market's moved. An employee that was making $18 an hour 2 years ago should be making $21 to $22 an hour today. And that's something that as landscapers, I think we're kind of hesitant to accept that fact, and we kind of fight against that. But the bottom line, market has moved. Employees are making more money today than they were 2 years ago, as they should. Everything's more expensive. Housing market's gone up. We're on the west coast of California here in Santa Cruz. So the cost of living is just ridiculous out here. So what we've done is we're assessing the market, and we're giving out company-wide raises. We've done 2 company-wide raises so far over the last year. And we did one at the beginning of the year, and we did one in, I think, early July, just about a month ago, because of the pressure of other companies trying to recruit our team. And, entry-level labor is being offered $25 to $30 an hour to go start at a concrete company. So most of this pressure is coming from outside the landscape industry, but it's something that the landscape industry needs to get behind, and we need to get labor up. We need to start paying our employees better, which means we need to charge our customers more. So this kind of goes back to the fact of using a really solid software, which we use Aspire, and it gives us really real-time data, day-to-day, week-to-week, what's our hourly average wage cost. So we've done 3 customer price increases just in 2021, and we're revising our 2022 numbers right now for our budget, and we're going to do another price increase at the end of the year. So this is for construction. On maintenance, we're kind of locked in for the year. So we're going to have some big discussions, but on average, our labor rates have increased 5 to 7% across the board. And we're going to need to pass that cost on to our customers. It's going to be difficult, but I think as an industry, if we all kind of work together and understand that this is the new market rate, and we all work together on this, we can accomplish helping our entire industry, make more money. Rising tide lifts all ships. So that's something we've really just bottom line price and what you pay your employees. Then we look at all the other things we can do, barbecues, free taco day, 401k, and all these other benefits that we talk about, which is really cool. We do a lot of this stuff. We do a lot of training, a lot of career advancement. We do raffles. We just gave away like $3,000 worth of iPads and TVs. That stuff's great. And it's almost just like a barrier to entry. You almost have to do that just to be a company these days. So no matter what you're doing on the engagement side, you have to pay your employees well. And then finally, it's just talking to your team. It's getting that feedback on a weekly basis. It's having one-to-ones with your team and your supervisors, having one-to-ones with the foreman having one-to-ones with their tradesmen, just simply asking for feedback. And if you can get that information out of the field and into the leadership team conversation, I think you're going to have a lot better chance of giving the employees the type of environment they need to succeed in and they want to work in. So it's just all about listening, Yeah,
that's awesome. That's all great messages. So we're just running out of time here. What would be your final parting message to those contractors, they maybe been sitting around about that $1 million to $2 million range. They're struggling to find their feet. Usually they're working in the business and they're struggling to get out of it and work on the business. What would be your parting message to those business owners?
Yeah, wow, great question. And I've got so many things that run through my brain, but I think one thing is when you're in the business, you're the quarterback, right, on the football team, and you need a coach. Every great quarterback needs a great coach. So I think first off, you need to have someone in your corner, whether it's a consultant, a mentor, or someone else who can see it from the outside and give you weekly advice on how you're doing, while also holding you accountable to your own goals. Because when you're the CEO, when you're the boss, there's no one holding you accountable. And we all need someone to hold us accountable on a weekly or monthly basis to what we're trying to achieve. Secondly, it's sharing your vision with the company. And if you don't have a vision, then it's doing some workshops and it's doing some strategic planning to create that vision. What's your 3-year, 5-year, 10-year target? Try to explain that as clearly as possible and share it with every employee, every supplier, every subcontractor, vendor, anyone that will listen to you. Share your vision and talk about that vision every day. Because if you can get your team behind the vision and they can go on a journey with you, you're going to have a lot of loyal people at the top, and you're going to continue to be able to hire from below and promote from within, which I think is the best way to grow. So it's getting someone in your corner like a coach or a mentor. It's creating a really clear vision, and it's being relentless on sharing that vision with your team every single day.
Yep. Awesome message. That's so great. Just music to my ears when I hear that stuff. That's typically the same stuff I'm telling a lot of my clients or prospects. So Justin, really appreciate your time today. Great messaging. Obviously you've done some great things with the company. Again, love the core values behind you. I think every company should have that. So thank you again for your time today, Justin, and look forward to seeing you at some future events.
I'm sure we will, Robert. And thanks so much for having me on, and good luck to everyone listening today.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. Hopefully that was pure dead brilliant for you today, and we've got some great takeaways for your business and your personal life. This is Robert Clinkenbeard along with David Anderson, and would love to get you and your friends to join us on our journey. 2 quick things before you go, listeners. Check out our website, thecommerciallandscaper.com. You can subscribe, you can share with your friends, but more importantly, check out our sponsors. We have Site Recon, who are going to help to capture measurements on your property and create a really streamlined process. And we have Company Cam, who make it dead simple to communicate, document, and problem solve with guys in the field, no matter where you are. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.